DC Dave and Kimberly, how's everything going? Hopefully everything's good. Yeah, DC, it rained here too. Started around 8 o'clock this morning and it stopped around 2 o'clock, but it was cloudy until at least 5 o'clock. But I had to go leave for to about an hour and a half for a visitation funeral tomorrow. Got three of them here. One this morning, one this evening, tomorrow morning, because and then my Aunt Jean passed away. She was 90 yesterday. Hey, Jonathan. So I'll let some people get on. I have to get my YouTube. Let me post the link. Hey, Keith, Mr. Honey. All right. All right. Should be pinned. It's in the comments. Good to go. Perfect. I got myself muted on YouTube. So I'll give you a little update. I had my hive number one swarmed on me last week. Twice now it swarmed on me with two different year and a half old queens. The original queen, then I threw a swarm in there thinking the swarm wouldn't swarm again. Well, 2 weeks later it swarmed. I caught both the swarms back in my cedar tree, so I didn't lose them. And I'm letting them requeen themselves this time. I went in there yesterday and cut three swarm cells out. There was one already that was out. I waited till the 13th day or 14th day. Yeah, my Aunt Jean passed away yesterday. She was 90. Um, so I don't have any details yet. She fell last week, broke some bones. I think she broke her hip, and it all downhill after that. My uncle, Jerry and Jean, he's still around. In fact, his birthday is tomorrow, I believe, the 21st. Yeah. So he turns 91. So they're both way up there. And then my sister-in-law mother passed away. Visitation was this evening, and mass and that burial's tomorrow. So I'll be busy tomorrow morning. Hey, Mike T. Well, I got a little story to tell you. Um, Saturday evening, around it was after 8 o'clock, 8:15. I got a call from my swarm lady, Patty. Save the bees, save your bees, save the bees. And she goes, "Hey, I got a little swarm for you." So it was about a 20-minute drive the north side of Cincinnati, and not a very good area. Um, and Wow, he had a great uncle, 109. Well, my side of the family makes it to 90. I'd say 88 to 92 on the most part. Hey, Lee, wearing your hat for you. I knew you'd get on. But So on Saturday evening, just before dark, I went and shook in a 2 to 2.5 frame Virgin Queen. I saw the Queen when I put her in the box. So, like I said, it was probably an 18 miles drive. It took 20, 22 minutes with the lights. So I didn't think we'd leave the box. Well, that was Saturday. Sunday was a beautiful Mother's Day. A beautiful day. And I didn't think anything of them leaving, and they didn't. When I last checked them in the evening time, everything was good. I went out there Saturday, probably around noontime, to see if not Saturday, Monday. I went out there. Man, I'm getting my days all mixed up. Monday, I went out there like noontime, and they were gone, empty box, no sign of them whatsoever. I couldn't find them or nothing. So I was really surprised they even left because they don't know the area at all. I mean, I just put them there Saturday evening, night, basically. It was dark. It was almost dark when I set them up. And so I went today, since it was raining this morning, I went and checked my 10 blue tote swarm traps. And at a new place, my best friend's nursery, he's a landscaper, there was a 1 and 1.5 frames of a swarm in it. So another virgin swarm. So this after that was this morning. So I think before even actually right around noontime, I put them in. I just put the whole tote where the last where the swarm was on Saturday. So I didn't even check that swarm out. But I knew it was a virgin. It had to be a virgin queen, only being a frame and a half of bees. So just before I left for the visitation of my sister-in-law's mom, she was 92, by the way. I was out there and I popped the lid on it. It was still 1 and 1.5 frames of bees. And when I drove to the visitation, um, I it was cloudy. When I got out, it was like only 56, 57 degrees. When I got out an hour and a half later to come back home, it was sunny out and it was already up to 68 degrees. So I said, well, before this would go live, I'm going to go out there and see what that Virgin Queen, see if it's actually did make mating flights or how long it's been in the box, that frame and a half. I opened the box up and now it's 4 frames of bees. I'm going, what? How in the heck did you get from 1.5 frames to 4 frames of bees? Well, guess what? The swarm that left on Monday flew back in when I was gone. That's the only thing I can think of. So now I got, the 2.5 frames and 1.5 frames of bees is about 4 frames of bees. And that's exactly what I have in there. I went and found a queen and it's a mated queen now. So I don't know if the swarm that flew back, she got mated. Hey, Rick. Hey, Dennis. Or that little frame and a half had a mated queen. But either way, there's a mated queen in there now. So that'd be perfect. I'm a new beekeeper will be getting that swarm. Probably in about 2 weeks. I'll make sure she's laying and all that good stuff, and I'll actually hopefully I'll let her get 3 frames laid up, and or 4 frames laid up. I'll keep 1 frame for myself and put one of my queen cells in there or new queens in it. I should have some graft emerging out by the weekend, so I'll be making a little 1 frame split. So it's kind of weird how the swarm flew back to the same spot where I put the other swarm. I figured it was gone. I went and checked my neighbor's 2 acres. I got 3 acres. It wasn't on my property that I knew of. It wasn't on their property that I knew of, which is kind of below me part of them, where I got it facing, and nothing happened. So yeah, so today was rainy. It only got up to 60 degrees, and then all of a sudden the sun came out, and it's still out right now as it's setting, and it got up to 68 degrees. And we're supposed to get storms later on tonight. I don't think we're supposed to get severe storms, but it looks like the one branch is going to go a little south of us, and the other branch is going to go a little bit north of us. So I think we're just going to hit by 2 little ones, or just one little bit. So that's my little story about swarms. I was really surprised the first swarm left. Um, I got the second swarm came from a little town, Harrison, per expressway, it's a 15-minute drive. It's probably 10 miles away, something like that. So I don't have them closed up. Got a mated queen now. She wasn't laying yet, so I think she came from the swarm that flew back in. Be my guess. Look, it was the same colored queen. Was in the first swarm. Hey, Barnhill Bees, which is Kurt. Kirk. If I got that right. I was going to write it down in my notes, but I didn't. Hey, Russell Koopman, hope everything's going good. So I want to talk about. I'm going to go treatment free starting this year, 100%. I've been cutting back on my treatments and getting better genetics, but the last, um, I guess, probably like the last 5 years, every spring about this time of year, I buy a package of 6 predator mites because I get those red spider mites by the thousands, millions around my place. I mean, a lot of them. They like my concrete walls that I have, especially the one in the background where all my hives are sitting on. That's a single row Allen block row. And I've been buying predator mites to kill all the red spider mites, and it works really well. I mean, within 2 weeks after I buy them in the egg stage, and then I get like 4,000 eggs of the predator mites, 6 different species, and I spread those around my beehives, around the yard, around my retaining walls to kill all the spider mites. And in about 1 to 2 weeks, all the spider mites are gone. I mean, totally wiped out. I think that doing that the last few years have cut my Varroa mite population down because I think some of them are getting into the hives and eating the Varroa mite. And then I was reading the bee culture the other day, and there was an article in there. I had it posted on my first test live, but I'll put the link. I'll look the link up here in a little bit. They had an article in there about Europe and New Zealand testing the pseudo scorpion predator mite. It's also called the false scorpion mite. It's got 2 big claws like a scorpion does, but it doesn't have a tail like a big stinger. They actually do have a stinger, but it's inside the big claws to kill their prey. They're totally harmless to humans. Um, and I read they're everywhere in the United States. Super common. We just don't. They're so small, you just don't see them. Just like the mites on the bees, hardly, till you get millions in there. So they like wood chips. I read to hide in and eat their prey. So next week to 2 weeks, I'm going to be. I got a chopper in my backyard. I'm going to fire that baby up and chop some chips up and put a whole row of chips underneath in front of my hives across the yard and promote the pseudo scorpion predator mite. And like I said, the bee culture article talked about how they have evidence that they actually eat the mites, and the mites actually coexist with the bees. The bees let them in, actually take care of them, and let them eat the mites. So it's a win-win. Let me pull this link up. I had it earlier, but I lost it. Let me find it again. Oh, no, it's not there. Bee culture. Oh, now I can't find it. Yeah, here it is. I found it again. So I'll post a little link. So here's the link of the little article on that mite that eats Varroa. Like I said, as a control agent. That's how they brought it up. So doing having VHS genetics, having Amish swarms the last 4 years up my brother's farm. I'm going to try going treatment free and see how it works. That means no, I don't want to put any chemicals in the box because even the um, acylic acid vapor will kill all the mites too. So I'm going between the genetics and promoting the mites. I'm going to see if I can go treatment free. It should work. This article I read. There's a couple other articles I read that they don't have a mite issues where they have these predator mites. So I'll let everybody know, on these Tuesdays, um, how it goes. I know in the previous years, I didn't treat my bees until um, end of July, and I typically never had any mites. And then I might get a few mites in the fall time. And I think I was actually killing the predator mites as I was killing the Varroa mites. So yeah, it is World Bee Day today on the 20th of May. Hey Brian and Jen. Hey Tiny Creek and Wayne. I don't think I know Wayne too well, but welcome. James Knoll. So that's going to be a new little test I'm going to do. Just using Mother Nature to kill the Varroa. I figured Varroa might have a predator. Every animal has a predator. So looks like the predator. There are plenty of predator mites to kill that mite. Yeah, DC. You don't treat anything either, do you? You let the bees do their thing. I think that's the key. I think I still will probably do one thing I got to study, which I have not found yet, is how does the predator mites winter? I'm sure they hibernate into something in the wood, shavings, or something, or do they even hibernate inside of hives? I don't know that answer. So I'm going to try to find that, learn about that. If they if they hibernate outside of the hive, I will probably still hit them with acylic acid vapor in the middle of winter, where they're all going to be hibernating somewhere. If they hibernate inside the hive, then I will not be even doing that. Yeah, and Pensacola, yeah, I know you didn't either. And Hanley beekeeping, he doesn't treat either. I think I know three other people here in the greater Southwest Ohio that don't treat their bees either. They have no more than the typical 10 to 20% loss. Um, so I think there's a good genetics, and I do think if you don't spray, I haven't sprayed my yard for at least 6 years, maybe probably maybe up yeah, a good 6 to 8 years. I have not sprayed anymore. So I do know, um, especially the last 3 years, especially the last 2 years, I've noticed a lot more wildlife in my neighborhood, in my property, and just in my area. And I know my two neighbors across the street on their 5 acres, they don't treat, or they do just a little bit. They don't spray much. My one neighbor doesn't spray at all. and another neighbor up the street, 5 acre neighbor, he doesn't spray at all. So I think all the natural predators are back, and I'm going to leave it that way. So, like I said, I'm going across the front here on my background. Right, they like the chips on the ground. So right outside my hives, outside the shingles I got down there's a little barrier. I'm going to put down a row, probably 2 or 3 feet wide, all the way across in front of the hives, as a place to harbor predator mites and regular mites. Have their whole ecosystem there, and see if they crawl into the hives to eat the Varroa mite, the false scorpion mite, pseudo scorpion mite. So, yeah, Dave, that's about all I'm thinking of doing. Is just the late after the first um, freeze or frost, when all the mites are in hibernation, outside mites are in hibernation. I might do a treatment then, not just be oxalic acid vapor, since they'll be broodless or near broodless. So yeah, that's my new game plan. I think it's silly. I mean, South South Africa proved it out that Mother Nature takes care of itself. They have never treated their hives for the royal mite, and the bees and Mother Nature took care of them. We need more beekeepers in the United States doing the same thing. So I'll be a test gimme. I'll probably have probably around 30 hives going into winter. I'll probably have at least 25 what I'd call medium to strong hives, and somewhere between 5 and 10 um, pretty new hives. Yeah, I don't wrap my hives up wintertime. I do put, as you can see right now, my background, I have half-inch insulation on top. It has a hole in it because I feed with a feeder bucket, which you can see on top. But I have a solid 1 inch board, which I actually put underneath the half inch. So the half-inch board, the so right now I have a double bubble wrap, that whatever they call that, as my inner cover, and I have the half-inch with the hole in the center feeder on top of that. In the wintertime, I'll put the 1 inch high density board down first, flip that half-inch upside down so the double bubble wrap is on top. I put that back on and I put the lid back on, and that's how I overwinter my hives. So I have basically about R10, R12, or 11 on my lid. And if you look real close, my bottom, all my boxes are sitting on a 1 inch high density board. The bottom board sits on top of that. So and then I got solid Allen block filled with gravel underneath that. So I don't know what the R factor is on that, but at least it's R6 plus, well, R7 plus. So I should have R7 on bottom to 10 and around R10 to 11 on top. That's how I ever went to my hives. I do sit down, all my hives sit down about 5 feet on a slope of a hill to the northwest. So any northwest breeze typically go over the hives, at least the heavy breeze. It works as a pretty good windbreak. And then also the barn itself works as a windbreak. My neighbor on across the street, on their 5 acres, on the north half, they have four four or five cedar trees, but there's a gap that feeds right into my yard. So I actually planted 5 more cedar trees to block that. So in a few more years, I'll have a complete wind block using cedar trees from any wind from the north, northwest, and west. And then dead south, the barn itself will block it. Anything from the southwest will still come through to the hives. But typically, the southwest winds are warmer winds, even in the wintertime. Oh, I missed a comment. Let me read some comments. Oh, congratulations. Yeah, I'm up to now almost 900. So maybe when I hit 1,000, maybe I do a little giveaway, some honey or something. I have to think about that. Let me see how many I have. I'm up to now 828. So need to get up to 1,000. So I'm getting slowly getting there. Let me catch up on all the comments. I asked Nancy to join. Well, it didn't work. That's why I was going to ask Nancy to join me, but she's busy. All right, Lee, that'd be great. I'll shoot you my address. So that'd be great. Something like this one. Yeah, and I'll get some hive tools and I'll get a couple little things to celebrate. So glad I got 117 more to go. No, like 162 more to go. So it'll be a little while. Yeah, we're supposed to have this cold front's coming through tonight, and later on this week, we got two lows that are down to 45 degrees, and we got one day that the highs only supposed to go up to like near 60, might not hit 60 degrees, 57 to 60 degrees. That's crazy being the last week of or the second last week of May. And even on Memorial Day weekend, we're only supposed to be like right around 68, 70 degrees Saturday and Sunday, but sunny at least. So it's going to be beautiful days. But Monday, I just saw there's a 40% chance of rain. Hopefully that's late Monday. So we're still getting a lot of rain. It's crazy. Hey, hillbilly beekeeping. Man, it's been a long time. Good to see you. Hope everything's going good there in the mountains of Virginia. And two bee brats. Howdy. So yeah, I'm I'm really hoping that I don't have to worry about treating bees anymore. That'll quite save quite a lot of money. And hopefully, if it works, get more people doing the same thing. I won't shame anybody treats that uses chemicals. I mean, I've been using them for quite a few years, but I'm going to try not to so much. I don't like to tell you the truth. So, man, my phone's been going off a lot. Let me check what's going on real quick. Just junk. Yeah, that's good. Hope health is good too. I know the weather hasn't been great. You've probably been getting all the rain we've been getting the next day. So, like I said, hive number one swarmed on me twice now, been queenless, and now I'm letting them make their own queen. The good news is I got a full deep and I got three full mediums full of honey. Bad news is none of it's capped. I think they're so busy being queenless that they're just filling every comb up, um, that they're not too worried about capping it yet. The hive is packed with bees, which is good. When I cut the cells out Monday, I cut three cells out in the incubator. Um, there was one cell I left them, and there was one cell that was already open. But it must have, I didn't look for the virgin queen, so there must have been already one virgin in there, and I left them one cell just in case they opened it and pulled it out or something like that happened. So I got three more cells in the incubator to be making three more splits. And they should be coming out since that was Saturday around Thursday, Friday. They should be emerging out a few more days, a couple more days, 2 to 3 days. I'll be day six, 10, 11, 13, 14, 15. Yeah, 16 will be Thursday, day 16. Yeah, I know about treating and not losing them. I'm not. I catch so many swarms every year. So far, oh, that's a little update I can give you. As you noticed, I posted on my totes. I had 10 totes, eight of them the medium blue, one of them dark blue, and one of them green. I actually had it now a beige one, a box tote I got for free, and another green tote. But out of those 10 original, I've caught nine swarms out of them. So nine out of 10 have caught swarms. I used to have a really good place. I caught swarms every year out of a abandoned house, but they tore the house down this spring and they're building senior retirement homes there. And there was another beekeeper that she moved her that lived behind the home and garden center, and she moved her eight hives. She actually bought some of my nukes the last few years, and she moved them all out to a farm that she bought out in Indiana. So this year I haven't caught any swarms there, and I got a wooden high, swarm trap there and one of my plastic ones, and that's the only one that hasn't gotten a swarm in it yet. But I don't. I think it's a dead area. If I don't catch a swarm here in the next couple of weeks, I won't be putting traps in that location anymore. Hey, hey, J&D. Hope everything's going good, James. And Barry, very kind bees. Glad to see you here. Yeah, I agree. Genetics, genetics, genetics. I've been working on that now the last few years, getting the best genetics. Um, I have noticed also my queen cells are bigger and my virgin queens are bigger when they emerge out of the cells. Um, I mean, some of them are pretty good size, 2 hours old. Hey, Dodd, and that's Steve, I think. I got that right. Yeah, I got to start writing this stuff down. I don't remember stuff like I used to when I was young. I could memorize everything, but not anymore. You gotta start writing it down. Hey, Jack and Danette. Yeah, getting a pretty good 47 people here. Hit thumbs up, man. Hit the like button. And even Brian and Jane had time to get on tonight. I know they're busy, but I guess the middle of the week they get to prepare for the next following weekend. See if Matt makes it on. He's the one that's going crazy, growing so fast. Hey, Dean. Yeah, yeah. Well, rain today, rain tomorrow. Um, yeah. The weekend looks okay, but cool. Yeah. Storms tonight. Dean, I forget where you were up in Ohio. I think you're northwest, if I remember right. So you might get that band that's forming right now out in Indiana. Like some pretty good storms there. But looks like the band that's cutting down through Kentucky is just going to clip. Might hit the east side of Cincinnati, but it's going to miss the west side of Cincinnati. So I might not get this too much of this rain tonight, which would be good because it rained a lot today. It came down in buckets earlier today, around 2 noontime, 2 o'clock. It was coming down in heavy buckets. Yeah, okay, east of Columbus. I knew you were northwest of me. I didn't couldn't remember how far. You're straight up north of me then. If you're 2 hours east, and Columbus is 2 hours, so you're above Okeana. I don't know what's above Okeana. The If you're 2 hours, it's 1 hour to Dayton, or an hour and a half to Dayton. So you're pretty close to Indiana then, because I know it's 45 minutes to Dayton and it's 2 hours to Columbus. Maybe maybe an hour to Dayton, depending if I go to the north. South side's 45 minutes, north side's an hour plus of Dayton, Ohio, just up 75. So yeah, that's mostly what's going on in my place. Getting a lot of honey. I should update my background. I have 16 hives now that have one deep and at least two medium boxes. I got four of them. I have three medium box, three medium supers on them. I got five other hives. I have one deep on them so far, and they're getting pretty full of honey. I need to put a box on them soon. The good news is I got about 8, 9 boxes left, medium boxes. I probably got 5 or 6 deep boxes left that I could put on if I had to. I think of those eight or nine medium supers I got left, two or three of them might have two or three comb frames in it, but the rest of them are all new frames. So I'm hoping to get those on the hives to at least get them to build them out this year. Five of them I bought from Bill from Shenandoah, um, at Nabby this past earlier this year, and two of them I had from the previous year that I never put on. So that's seven of them, yeah. And then two other ones were the ones where I made all the other ones better and put the uncombed frames on those two. So I basically have 9 boxes left. I still need comb frames out of about 50 at 45 of them. 40, I think I got 45 boxes, medium boxes. So yeah, I haven't checked any other hives if any of it's capped. I'm sure I need to pull some. I got one customer. I'll visit them today to buy some nails. It's a hardware store, and they're out of my honey. I have about 15 bottles left. I have to go check. Maybe 12. Yeah, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13 plastic and one glass left. So my other customer has three plastic and one glass left. So I'm basically out of honey between those two customers of mine. So I need to pull a couple boxes off and get them extracted and bottled. Um, Basically within this next week. So I need to catch up to Keith. I think he's probably he's at least 26 mediums. That was a week ago. He's probably up to 30 now. Hello, Sarah. Hope everything's good. Well, that's awesome. They went in your swarm trap. At least it sounds like it. Oh, you're in the background? I don't see you in my background, Sarah. Well, yeah, hop on. I wonder why you don't see me. I don't see you. Let me check StreamYard. It just shows I got one live. Sarah, I don't know why. I posted the link. It should be up. Yeah, it should work. Yeah, it looks like it's working. Okay. Yeah, you had a nice, Sarah, you had a nice one this afternoon, this lunch this afternoon. Ah, there you are. I see you now. Hey, Sarah.
Hey Tom, how are you?
Yeah, I'm doing good. Thanks for hopping on.
Hey, good to see. I'm glad I had a chance to. The children just left with the grandchildren, so I have a minute before I get ready for sleep.
There you go.
And
Yeah,
hello to
I don't have
everybody
any.
in the chat. I see you. I just I can't type right now.
And I'm like you. I love everybody that's online. It's all every. I love everybody.
So dear to my heart. I'm
Even
glad
all the
you peace
enemies,
brought us
if I have
together.
any. So yeah,
But
thanks for
yeah,
hopping
that
on.
swarm took off. We went out after I ended my live stream this afternoon, went back out to see, and they were gone. But Stephen went out to the tree stand to see, and there's bees coming in the swarm trap. So it could be that that swarm found the trap.
Yeah, it probably did. Well, that's good news. Well, at least you got bees.
That's number 27. We're 27 strong in Sarah's Happy Hives.
Wow. Let me see. I've caught 9 out of my 10 boxes, and I think I've gone out on 5 calls. So I think I'm at 13 this
Okay.
year.
Well, I
So
meant I
it
have
hasn't been.
27 colonies. I'm trying to think how many swarms because I know I lost track. I forgot to
I
write a
know how
couple
that is.
down. A couple got away. Yeah, they're
I take care of the west side of Cincinnati, and there hasn't been swarms on the west side of Cincinnati this year. The
oh,
east side, my friend that's on the east side and the north side, they're getting slammed. But
that's weird because it's. I guess they just go where they want to go.
or the beekeepers, maybe I'm doing too good of a job mentoring everybody,
Hey, that sounds like it's more like that. We've got a lot of
but they're not
competent
swarming.
beekeepers out there. That's
I don't
excellent.
know, but I don't mind. I'm up to 32 hives, I think, right now.
That's a good
I
number.
know,
That's
I
one
know
more
two
than
of
I went
them.
into winter with last year.
Yeah, I I hope I'm two of them I'm giving away. Or I'm just selling them for cost, $50, just to get the Chester box, 5 frames, gas money that I had to go to get the hives, to get the swarms.
That's reasonable.
Um, yeah, I'm going to charge them a little bit, just maybe a few bucks that I'll make, but that's about it.
Well, I'm may that go. exceedingly well for you this year, for all of us, because
Yeah, you and everybody else.
these bees, they need a home. I've got places for them to go.
I still got 10 more 12 frames nuke boxes empty.
I see
So
I've
I
got
can
some
take,
8 frames to put swarms in. I don't have any. I think I might have 1 or 2 nuke boxes. I gotta get some more of those. I like the 5 frame.
I probably have 30 or 40 Jester nuke boxes still in my barn. I don't
Wow,
count those.
you're really cranking them out, Tom.
Well, I bought about 3 or 4 years ago, I bought a whole pallet. I think it was 144 on it, something like that. And over the last few years, I sell 20 or 30, get rid of 20 or 30 of them every year. So,
It's good because we need more beekeepers. We really
yeah, there
do.
you go. Well,
Local
I have
beekeepers.
I have, like I said, two brand new ones that called me in the past 2 weeks saying, Tom, you got nukes for sale? And I said, no. Well, I can give you a swarm. On my next swarms I caught. Now I've caught in the past 2 weeks. I've caught two virgin queen swarms. One of them it got a queen in it now. She made it back. And did you hear? Were you on here at the beginning?
No, I just got in when I got in.
I had the craziest thing happen to me on swarms. Saturday night, eight after 8 o'clock, I got a call from my friend Patty. It says there's a swarm on the north side of downtown Cincinnati. Come, go and get it. Nobody's available, but can you get it? I said, sure, I'll get it. And it was just a 2.5 frame Virgin Queen swarm. I actually saw the queen, and that she was definitely a Virgin Queen. So I put her in the box. It was dark Saturday night. Sunday, they are happily in there. I picked on them twice. I pulled out the frame, make sure she was all good and she was a virgin, like I thought. Put her back in there. I never touched her or nothing. And then I got up Monday morning around noontime, 11 o'clock noontime. I went out there. I was going to give them a frame of eggs to help them out, and they were gone.
It happens. I know I've had that same thing happen. I had a really big swarm. I put it in a double decker deep 5 frame. Same situation. They had the things, but then they decided they didn't like the box.
Well, I didn't change box. I had them in the same box. I just moved. Well, I threw them in the box and then put the box there. And they only had one day to figure out where they were because I moved them 18 miles.
Okay.
So I didn't expect them to leave since they didn't know the area. Well, today, since it was raining, I went and checked two of my traps and I had a 1.5 frame swarm in it. And I just popped the lid, closed it up, put it in the exact same spot where the other swarm had left. Well, at around we had to leave at 5 o'clock. So around 4 o'clock, I peeped in there, and it was still just 1 to 1.5 frames of bees. Well, it was cloudy. The rain had just stopped. I had to go to a visitation from a sister-in-law's mom passed away. We were there. We knew both sides of the family really well, and
Sorry for your
I
loss.
was. We were there an hour and a half, probably maybe an hour 45 minutes, and it went from 60 degrees up to 68, and it was sunny. So I go back out there today. I was going to put them in a regular box versus being in my swarm trap, and now it had four frames of bees in it. I said, "Wait a second. How do you get? How do you go from 1.5 to 4.5?" Guess what? I think that 2.5 frames of bees flew in when it was sunny when I was gone.
Uh,
So now I have 4 frames, and now I have a mated queen that looks just like the queen of the first swarm. So I think they came back
that's
after she got
possible.
mated. I
They
think
do
they flew
things
out when she
behind
got
our
mated
back.
and then she came back. So my new customer now has a full basically a 5 frame nuke now that I can give her for
That's
$50.
excellent. And that'll grow into 8 to 10 double, triple deckers.
Yeah, I'm going to mentor her the rest of the year. Tell her to feed, 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 feed. She
Well, I
probably
hope
won't have
that
to
goes
feed them too
well
much
for
since
you.
they got a huge brood break with a new, and it's a brand new queen. So I told her, I texted her today, just a few before this, that I'm going to give her a week to see how she's laying since she's a brand new queen. I mean,
I
she
hope
probably
you
got
get lots
mated.
of good footage on that too, because the footage of the queen gets a lot of views.
Yeah. And I'm going to mark her blue because I know she's a brand new queen.
I still have to get a blue marker. I'm going to do my best to try to. I didn't pick them up last year and mark them at all. I kind of just let them do their thing without being marked. But
I
this year
mark
I'm
all my
going to,
customers.
because I've been picking up the drones and practicing. I just get a little, because the queen is fragile. You know, sometimes
Right.
when you get
Two,
excited.
2 years ago, I picked up a queen and I somehow me get trying to grab all of her legs. I killed her. I quit. I squished her.
I mean, it happened because I beheaded one, and it broke my heart because I killed her. I didn't mean to.
Yeah.
And then
Hey,
they had to make
Morris.
another one, and they had to go to all that trouble just because I did that.
Should
But yeah,
Morris has got, I think it's Kurt or Carl. Should I feed nukes that I'm trying to grow in the double deeps during the flow?
internally maybe
If,
don't
yeah,
like open feed them, but you could put feed on them. Then make sure you don't take honey from that one.
yeah. And if you got comb, I would say no. But if you need comb built out, I would still put a little bit of food on them, but the chances are they won't take it
Usually
unless,
during a flow, you don't have to feed them because they're finding it.
no,
And
but it
they
would be
usually
good
won't
during the
touch it
rainy
anyway.
days. On the rainy days, it would be good to have a
Yeah.
little bit on them. So I wouldn't give them no more than a gallon, maybe a half gallon, and see if they take that. I'd give them a half gallon and see if they take that. And if they do, then give them a half gallon more. If they don't, just leave it on there for at least the first 2 or 3 weeks to get through the rainy days. But yeah, you're right. During the flow, I don't feed during the flow, even my
Well,
new hives, even my
sometimes
swarms
they
I
won't
catch.
even take it anyway because they're
Yeah,
after the clover. What is it right now? Black locust,
yeah,
the tulip poplar.
yeah.
Hang on,
Everything's
I know
blooming.
these. I know.
I got clover really good this year. Such a good question. 'Cause I don't think they'll take the, I don't think they'll take this. And I would only feed them 0.5 to 1 sugar water.
In the like dearth period or building up for.
Yeah, for building comb. Maybe points up to 0.5 to 0.7 would be the most. Really thin sugar water.
Well, we're coming up on 9 o'clock, you guys, and it's been a day. So I want to say, let's see, I see DC in the chat, DC's Bees, and Joey and Lee. Who else did I see
Joey,
in there? Russell Koopman,
hey Joe,
Earl, Keith Spillman. Hi, you guys.
I
Who
go
else
to
is
10
in
o'clock.
there?
That's it. My wife goes to bed. She gets up early to go to school. She doesn't get out to the 28th, a few days after Memorial Day weekend. That Thursday, whatever
Grandchildren
that
are out
Thursday is.
tomorrow, and we're making plans. I'm gonna have grandchildren for sleepovers. So it's gonna be a
There you
busy
go.
week. But it was good to see you guys. You're so dear to my heart. Have a great night, and hopefully I'll catch you next week too.
Have a great rest of the night and enjoy your grandkids.
Thanks, Tom. Good night,
Thanks.
everybody.
You see, I'm trying to catch up on all the too many comments. Feed them. Yeah. But if it's a good flow, they won't touch it. But if for some reason or there's a couple days in between flowers, it's good to have food on them. Hey Joey, I don't never got me before. Um, if I haven't had hardly, I've seen a couple hive beetles, but I haven't seen many hive beetles um, this year. I was wondering about other people. I mean, I haven't put any peppermint extract, anything on any of my hives yet because I might see one or two, and that's about it. I went through a bunch of my hives a couple weeks ago, and I think I saw four um, hive beetles, and I killed two of them. And I think it was just on two of the hives. I actually really think some of the small hive beetles is also genetics in the queens. I think some bees with their genetics take care of small hive beetles a lot better than other genetics of the bees. And I can't tell you which genetics, breed from the Italians, the Russians, the Caucasians, the Carnies. Maybe it's just the mutt. All right, thanks, Hillbilly B. Yeah, you and have a great time. Have a great evening and rest of the week. I'll shoot you a text. I'll give you a call later on this week. He's a good guy. It's good to see him get back on. He doesn't get on too many times. Uh, so yeah. So I will be grafting. I'll try to make some good videos on that. A good grafting video. Um, right around the summer solstice. To fill up those 6x6 nukes I have boxes, double deep boxes, 12 frames. I'll probably, there's two swarms that are in there now, the ones I'm giving away. So I'll have all 12 of them empty here in a couple weeks. And when I pull all the honey, most of the honey off the hives around the 4th of July, those queens, I'm going to have them planned that they should be emerging or had just emerged. And I'll make 12 little two couple frame splits and then put those virgin queens in there. Yeah, Earl's peppermint. Hey, I agree with you, Earl. That peppermint works great, and the extract works just as good. I used to put the candies in, but they eat them too fast. Bees love peppermint candy. I mean, they're gone in 2, 3 days. So now I just do the extract. But I haven't put any in this year. I haven't had to. Even my hives underneath my cedar tree and my oak tree, I have don't have many mites in it. And those are the ones that would have the mites because they're right. We're only shoot 3 feet from the woods. All these hives are a bit farther away. Uh, but 12 frames, my 12 framers, they're all within 5 to or 7 to 3 feet from the woods. Captain, yeah, remember him on, yeah, Gleason's show. Yeah, good night, Lee. Have a good evening. Hope you don't get any storms either. And this cold front coming through. So what is it, 9 o'clock now, 9:01? Well, I think that's about everything that's going on of what my plans are. So I'll make a good video. Um, I'll probably use one of my earlier swarms as my cell builder. I have one that's really growing fast. Um, she's in by another month, or yeah, approximately a little less, about a month. She should be really rocking. She's in a 24, and she's in the third slot, which is hive number 27, 26 or 27, 26. She's in slot number 26, which is a 12/12 um, hive, two deeps, 12 frames over 12 frames, and my monster horizontal. I should show everybody that. I should do a video on that. Hey, Steven, I have a huge horizontal hive that I built from a cold storage box that houses four 24 frame hives in it. It used to hold 12 4 frame nukes in it, 8 frames, 4/4. But I found out the piping of the queens from one slot to the other slot was not good. Hey, Clay. Hey, Russell A. Omen. Glad to see you. Um, I'd only get queens like in every other spot. So either the entrances were too close and the piping was too loud between just a half-inch plywood. So now I changed it into 4 24 frame. My other big monster one, I have three 33 frame hives in it. And this is my second year having bees in them. And to this day, I haven't gotten over maybe 24 frames. So I might convert that one into it next year during the winter time if I don't have bees in it, or if I move them to a different hive. Um, make them into a 24, have four of them in there, make 24/24. I have read 30 frames is about the max that the hive will ever use. Basically, three deeps. I know they're filled up with honey, but you can always pull the honey off and put frames in. So maybe I'll finally get three good queens in there, and they'll get all 33 frames built out and ready to go. I got a lot of plastic foundation frames in those boxes that need combing on. So I need to make some videos of what I've been doing. Um, a lot of changes. They changed my bottom boards. I changed my horizontal hives. All those hives are still traditional Langstroth cold way. I'm not changing those. That'd be too much work turning all those frames around. I don't want to turn my entrance. It's long, so I'd have to turn the frames. I could turn the two end ones and just put the entrance on the side of the horizontal hive, but I'm not going to do that. That's my walkthrough. I'll be walking through the bees all the time then. What's Clay talking about? Hey, Tim and Hannah, I missed you guys popping up there. Hope everything's good. Hey, Hannah, I want to let you know my a week ago my Aunt Jean fell down. She's 90 years old and she passed away yesterday. I don't have any funeral information yet. I'll probably get that tomorrow. I've had three people die in this past week. Um, an old school teacher friend that my wife um, taught decades with. She passed away. The funeral was today. And then my sister-in-law on my wife's side, um, mom passed away 2 days ago, and the visitation was today, and the funeral's tomorrow. And then I have my aunt coming up here in a couple few days. So then that time of year. But if you believe in Murphy Law, that's three of them, so that should be it for a while. So been busy. Swarms and now funerals and stuff like that. In fact, tomorrow I need to send a card out. I have to go get a card and send a card out. So yeah, I should have done that today, but I didn't. Well, let's get back to bees. Maybe I got it. I have next Tuesday. I'm probably going to go at 7 o'clock Eastern time, and I'm going to see if I can team up. Hey, Bundy, I'm going to team up with Nancy that goes on like at 6:30 on Wednesdays. I want to see if she wants to go on with the two of us on Tuesdays at 7 o'clock. So there might be a little change next week because she hasn't hopped on yet today. At least I haven't seen her. Uh, she's probably busy or tired. Gosh, I've been yawning a lot. Oh, yesterday I didn't have a good day. Um, I got a big garbage can in my barn and it was full, and I had some wood uh, stacked up to the side of me and behind me, and I didn't know it as I was pulling the uh, bag out of the garbage can. It wouldn't come out. I must have knocked the boards down on the ground when I was doing it, and I didn't notice it. I go to step back to lean the can over so I could pull the bag out, and fell pretty hard with a large garbage can landing on top of me and landed on my shoulder, the shoulder over here. I don't know what I did with it, but it's a little sore. It kept me up last night. Um, taking a lot of ibuprofen, but I slept a few hours, 2 to 3 hours each time, about how long it lasted. I don't think I hurt anything. I just bruised everything or stretched some muscles that I haven't stretched in a while. So it's not good to fall down backwards by surprise. Well, guess what? That wood is not there anymore. I actually last night burnt it when it was dark. I had a pile, it was all scrap wood that I was going to burn in my fire pit. Well, it's gone. It's in ashes. It'll be going in my compost bin in a little bit and going in the garden for next year. Yeah, it's better, Clay. It's better today. Yeah. So I think a couple more days, it should be a lot better. It's just, I hate falling down these days because I don't bounce up like I used to. It's amazing. But I'm not even old yet. I'm just semi old, just senior old. I'm not old senior yet. Beekeeping keeps me young. So, yeah, so I had a little spill. but luckily nothing broke, nothing ripped. I don't think. Just a good stretch it this way, landing on the concrete. So yeah, I didn't pull my berry stunt. Yeah, um, that's about all that's going on. Um, Got to update my background picture. I'll take a picture tomorrow. It's supposed to rain. It's supposed to be cloudy till Friday or Saturday. So maybe this weekend I'll take a picture of my hives in the background. You can see how high they're getting. Hopefully, I'll add a couple more boxes on. I might add one box on hive number 5, which was one of my overwinter hives, and I didn't requeen her. She actually was the hive I was going to graft from, but she came out of winter pretty small, and it's a Caucasian Carney hive that I think is more Caucasian versus Carney, and she came out of winter really slow, but now she's rocking. Um, Even yesterday, being only 70 degrees, she was a winner of bearding out on the hive. So right now it has two deeps, single brood deep, has a honey deep on top and two other deeps. So I'm gonna have to check it and probably add another medium on it tomorrow. I was going to do it today, but like I said, it rained all day, and then I had to go to a funeral layout today. So I got home about 6:30 and ate a little lunch and ate a little lunch dinner and hopped on here. So pretty busy day. Did laundry this morning since it was raining. I do a lot of the laundry. I don't do the delicates and that kind of laundry. I just do whites and darks, towels, dishes, jeans and stuff like that. Since my wife works, I wait till rainy days to do that. I did some inside project worked out in my barn a little bit, stuff like that. Getting ready for the harvesting some honey. So I do want to check some of my boxes and get some honey pulled this week and get them bottled and labeled because I got one customer without honey. I got to take 12. I usually give her 12 bottles. So when I do that, I'll have like two or three bottles left over, and that's it. And one of them's my dark honey, which I don't usually give away too often. I gotta scoot up a little bit closer, relaxing too much. You know. Yeah, I have to catch up to Keith. I have enough boxes on to get up to about 30. Well, let me see. That's 16 times 2. That's that's 32 plus 4 more. I got 37 boxes on right now. Medium boxes and 21 deep honey deep boxes on. So I think I got maybe 60 to 70% of all those boxes. They have a good amount of honey in them or full. I know they're heavy. I did a test the other day. They're heavy, heavy. Yeah, I don't bounce either anymore. I'm just now getting I don't really run anymore either. Well, my knee, but I'm starting to jog a little bit on my knee, mostly in the morning when it's feeling the best. Yeah. Yeah, I did yesterday evening. Last night it was getting kind of late yesterday when I did that, taking out the garbage. It's like, oh man. I drove a little bit after that too, and I could hardly drive. Lift my arm up to grab the steering wheel. I drive. I used to drive a stick when I was a kid, so I'm so used to driving with my left hand and shifting with my right hand. But I drive with my left hand, and it's like, oh, I can't do that. I got to drive with my right hand. Speed walking, yeah, yeah, speed walking. It won't be speed walking; it'll be jogging. I think speed walking is not good for you. That's a weird walk. Speed walking. No, no, no. Did like I said last week, I did jump a little bit for the first time since my knee replacement. That was okay. So it's testing time, light testing time. So I don't know. Anybody got any subject they want to talk about? Um, grafting, treating, swarms. Yeah, the jogging might be okay. Walking's best. I'm gonna try to get up to 5 miles. It's 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 a third of a 2/3 of a mile from my driveway up to the mailbox and back. And if I go back to my neighbor's driveway, which is kind of at the end, walk all the way back in that, I can get almost a mile. So do that 4 or 5 times uh, a day. I'll get my 5 miles in. Hey Todd, did you eat yet? Yeah, you should be done eating. Well, 6:20 your time, 6:18. Yeah, well you're grilling right now. 95, 100. If it's cold here, it's probably 100 there. Be my guess. You're cooking right now. Well, I hope it's good. I didn't have a very good dinner. Cooked real quick in the small oven I have. I just cooked up a brat and a half of that. Just had a little of that because, like I said, I was a little busy. Didn't spend like time. I didn't cook anything up. Didn't have time. Yeah. First question, Todd, did you eat yet? I know Todd's schedule. He eats right around 6 o'clock. My 9 o'clock. Well, let me see. Did anybody post anything? Nobody wants to talk about anything. I haven't built my lean on my barn yet. I haven't got my materials yet. I was hoping to start that by June, or at least get going. I'm working on a different little project. I built a retaining wall back, gosh, 95, and then I rebuilt it around 2000 with my sons. And that was before that, probably 1998. Yeah, 1998. I rebuilt it with Allen block or Versalock block. And then I have some steps, pressed treated wood steps that are still good even after 30 years. Um, there's an area after that. It's kind of like a hill. Couldn't really explain it, but it's a steep hill. And I just had landscaping in there, and it grew up to be weeds. And I had 9 Allen block left over from the wall that's behind me in my background picture. And I built a wall there with those 9 Allen blocks. And the rest of the little blocks that I have, I'm going to build back up the step line. And that's what I've been working on. Um, I'll probably have that built finished in the next 2 days in between the rain. It might be a little bit too wet tomorrow, so maybe by the end of the week I'll get that finished, and then I'll be able to start working on maybe the lean blooming now. Oh, Clay asked, I missed that one. What's been blooming? Well, the clover's been really blooming big time this week. It's looking really good. The last week, 2 weeks. Um, the black locust trees are still in bloom. They started blooming last week, and they'll be finishing up in about a week. Tulip poplar they started blooming a little bit before the black locust, and I just saw they're about finished. So we're finishing up the tulip poplar and the black locust. The black and black the blackberries were blooming. The black raspberries are blooming. The we have a lot of invasive. Oh, I don't know the real name of it, but it's single flower rose climbing rose bushes. I have 765K power lines running about quarter mile up the road from me on my private drive. I drive under it every day when I go out into my mailbox. It's on the other side of the power lines. They don't. That place is loaded with the climbing rose bushes, and I have probably 50 of them in my 3 acres growing on my property, in the woods, everywhere. And the bees just attack them. Um, it's amazing how much the bees hit those climbing rose bushes. Um, so that's blooming right now, big time. The sage is blooming. The other one, oh gosh, it's blooming. The blue flowers. Oh, I'm brain dead. I can't think of it. Sage and that's another flower. It's blooming. Um, Sycamores trees, they're not blooming yet. They should be in another week. Um, Buckeye trees, they're blooming. The American buckeye trees blooming right now. Bloomed last week and this week. The yellow buckeye tree will be blooming probably in about a week. They're usually about 2 weeks apart. I have species of both of those in my property, the American and the yellow buckeye. So they'll be blooming soon. Um, American hollies aren't big enough yet. I don't think I'll get any blooms on that. My chestnut trees haven't bloomed yet. They're just big enough now to get a few flowers on them. Oh, my crabapple tree was blooming a week ago, 2 weeks ago. I'm sure it's about finished. I have just one crabapple tree. I planted that 20 years ago, but it's not very big. It got rust on it every year from the cedar tree. But I have a red oak tree now. It's in between the two, and it blocks it from the rust. So the crabapple tree is actually finally growing now the last couple of years. Good night, Joey. All right, so catch you later. I'll be jumping off here in 35 minutes. Like I said, my wife goes to bed at 10, and I don't want to be talking too much when she's in bed. I need to move my computer system down in the basement, and then I could go later since I get to sleep in if I want to. Well, tomorrow I got a funeral to go to, so I won't be sleeping in that much. I think it's at 10 o'clock. No, 10:30. I got to actually talk to my wife on what the schedule is for that. If she's coming home. I know she's going to go to school take a leave for a little bit. I don't know if she's coming home, and we're both driving. I think we're going to go separate because she's going to go back to work after the funeral mass. So that's my schedule in the morning. So there's been a lot blooming. The basswood trees around here, which I have a lot of them, I'm blessed in that aspect. They don't bloom till around the summer solstice, so um, I still got them still to bloom. That's a big honey pull for me. Black locust, I mean basswood trees. Um, I could have two pools. Yeah, I usually just do one big pool. Starting around the 4th of July, but I'm gonna pull a little bit. Um, get that really clear honey. In the springtime, if I pull now, it'll be it'll be it'll just be clear to hazy white, off white color, but more clear than hazy white. It's all that black locust honey. So I might pull some of that black locust honey that's mixed in with everything else. Wildflower. I can't call it black locust because where I am, everything blooms. There's so many things blooming. Um, yeah, I don't know all the plants. There's a lot of plants that grow in the woods, and they're all getting ready to bloom. There's dozens of those. I don't know those yet. I know the bees hit those. So we did have a good black locust bloom this year, and a really good tulip poplar bloom. I think a lot of the nectar got washed out. We had too much rain. Um, yeah, 45 pounds. I had an off year last year. I only had just under 900. I like getting it over 1,000. I got this year is by far my best years of having 16 big hives, 5 medium hives for honey. Um, Actually, about right now, the 5 medium hives should be cranking up. Uh, all 5 of those are swarms or nukes that I had in there that I sold. There was just 2 or 3 frames left over, and then I got a mated queen in them out of all 5 of them when I did my graft back in end of in March, early March, no, late March. It was April. Actually, April Fool's Day. I did it, April 1st, and I grafted. Then I caught swarms, and all of them were anywhere from 5 to 7, actually 5 to 9 frame swarms put in those 5 boxes. But I pulled the queen and 1 frame of bees from those swarms. So anyone were 4 to 8 frame swarms that I put in those hives. The bad news is that there was no brood basically. A couple of them might have had half frame of brood left after I took 3 frames of brood out to make up the nukes. Um, I think only one of them had a frame of brood left on them. So they should now, since it's been April, middle of April, end of April when I did most of these splits, they should now just have emerging the population. Some of this 3 weeks should be just emerging out soon. Those hives should just be growing, but it'll be another 3 more weeks before I get all the foraging. So I'm gonna miss. I'll get the basswood tree flow, which is a big flow for me with those hives later, in June. So I should get a good June flow off those last 5 hives. So I'm hoping to get 50, 70 pounds off of them I think by the middle of June, I'll be putting the another medium box on each one of those. That'll get me up to 70 pounds if they fill all those up um, from the black oak, from the basswood trees, the linden trees. Um, well, what's that other non-native tree? It hasn't bloomed yet either. Oh, I can't think the name of it. There's a lot of them around here. So there's still at least um, black walnut trees haven't bloomed yet. So we still got the black walnut trees. I don't let the bees hit black walnut. I have to look that up. Sycamore trees, beech trees, the tree I can't think the name of it, and the basswood trees. And then, of course, if it keeps raining like we've been getting, clover. I got the best clover I've ever had this year. Um, I did spray above my beehives. I bought this chemical. It was expensive. It doesn't kill clover or soybean. It's for the agriculture. It's supposed to kill weeds. Last week I did put a weak. I didn't go. I went with the weakest solution of it because I didn't know how it would be on the bees. And I did spray not real close to the bees. I got within like 10 feet of it to kill all this chickweed and all that that's growing in my yard. So I can get more clover. I'm going to throw down some more clover seed down in there this summer for next year. To fill the whole thing up with clover. I did that 2 years, 3 years ago. I'm going to do it again, but I got to cut. I don't like putting any chemicals down, so it looks like it's working. It's kind of turning yellow, clearing it, killing it enough that I can throw some clover seed in it in a month from now. Get that going. So I'll have probably 2 acres of a lot of clover. My whole front yard is now probably 80% clover, 10% dandelions, and 20% grass. It's slowly getting more and more clover in it, which is good. I cut that clover though a little bit. My field, I just finished cutting it last week. I won't cut it anymore. Let it grow up and get tall. I usually cut it to about the middle of May to keep the grass and weeds to a minimum. Let the clover take over. And I do have good news. This a year ago, it took me a year to get these in, almost a whole season. Um, 5 witch hazel plants, and I planted them in my yard this spring, early spring. It was they shipped them in third week of February, and I got them in probably the last week of February, and they're actually like 3 feet tall now. They're doing really well. They like to have they like to have moist ground, and I put them in the lower part of my hill, and they're taking off. So I'm hoping in a couple years I have a lot of witch hazel. And I don't know if people know it's a native plant. The bees like it blooms from December through February. Blooms for during 3 months, and it flowers for 8 weeks. So it basically flowers in December until it gets bees on it. And we have a flying day of bees. Um, it will stay flowering, so it can flower up to 8 weeks during the winter months. So where I live, we always have anywhere from a week to two, anywhere from 4 to 10 days. We get 10 to 15 days in December of flying, half the month. We probably get 4 to 6 in January, and then we get another 10 to 15 in February. So my winter bees, by the time end of February comes, had flown for 2 weeks. And I tell all my beekeepers around here that when I mentor them that we need to have feed on them 1st of February because all those winter bees are dead because they've flown now 2 weeks in December, January, and February, and bees flying for 2 weeks don't fly anymore. Their wings are deteriorated. So those winter bees become forager bees and then they become dead bees by the end of February. And we lose a lot of hives because not because of the cold, because they run out of food. And they go straight up to the top of the box and build a tunnel right through the honey. And then we get a cold week in the end of December, and all the bees starve because they don't have any more food above them. And they got food an inch to the side of them, but there's no food above them. They can't go up anymore. And I'm now planting. I'm going hopefully this winter cut branches off of the witch hazels and start maybe 10 to 15 more witch hazels and fill my whole lower part next to my woods and even through my woods witch hazel plants. So I have hollies up on the top part and I'll have witch hazel down the lower part. And American holly, they bloom they flower in the fall. So I'll be getting those. I'll be hitting them in the fall with them, and then during the winter time. And witch hazel actually puts out pollen and nectar in the winter time. So they actually will get a little bit of nectar source during those winter months, which would be good. Just to keep stores in them. And they're obviously will store it right where they are. So hopefully in about 3 more years, I have my top field, which is about a quarter acre, will be clover and American holly. And my bottom quarter acre will be witch hazel and clover. And I'm got some sage plants planted in there for the springtime. And some other bushy flowers. So that's my game plan. That's what's flowering. That's my game plan of flowers versus trees. Um, oh, I forgot about the persimmon trees. Oh, my persimmon trees, I haven't noticed any flowers on them yet. They should be flowering soon also. So that's another one that hasn't bloomed yet. At least I haven't noticed. I don't even know when they bloom. I think they bloom end of May, Memorial Day, early June, or late middle spring, late spring. They should be blooming soon. I have to check those. Um, so yeah, I'm hoping to turn my yard into a bee yard soon, more and more. My wife has no issue with that. She actually likes my clover in the front yard when it's blooming, and it usually lasts till about middle of August. About the middle of July, 4th of July, end of July, the faucet turns off and it gets dry in my area. And if we're lucky, we have pop-up storms about once a week or once every other week. If you're lucky, you get a pop-up thunderstorms, and that'll buy you another week to a week and a half. And some summers, late summers, I'll get 2 or 3 of those pop-up storms between middle of July through August to about the end of September. Um, we'll get enough of those pop-up storms that the goldenrod and Esther. We'll always get. Always get a lot of Esther in the fall time for the bees. Goldenrod. I got a ton of goldenrod that grows in utility line area, but it never produces it. In my last 8 years, I've gotten like 2 days of flow from the goldenrod, and it's always too dry and they only put out pollen. So it's a good pollen source, but a zero nectar source. Last year, we had a ton of rain all the way to August 1st, and then it did not rain the whole month of August, whole month of September, and almost the whole month of October. We got actually into severe drought in our area. And I had my knee replacement, and I didn't do very good in feeding my bees. That's one reason why I didn't have a good outcome this spring, this winter, because I drought and I didn't have the resources. I didn't have enough sugar and couldn't feed the bees. And I didn't ask anybody to help me feed the bees because I didn't go out and get the sugar. Actually, I drove the Rural King. They had a whole pallet. I called them 2 days ahead of time. It's a 45-minute drive to Rural King. And I got there and said I got there in the afternoon and somebody in the morning bought the whole pallet. Another beekeeper bought the whole pallet of sugar that they had. So I didn't get it. Then I had my surgery and I didn't get any more sugar after that until it was almost October. Then I fed them, but it was too late. They didn't have enough time to build up. And like I said, we got zero flow in the fall last year. So I'm hoping this fall's a lot better with the thing. I used to have a Costco that was just about a half an hour drive, but they shut that down and they moved it another 20 minutes north. So it's 45 minutes to Costco. And my wife and I dropped the membership. They did that right during COVID, and they shut down during COVID, so you couldn't go. Well, they were only open like on weekends and stuff like that, and then they moved, and we got a Sam's that's just 20 minutes from me, but they don't have great prices on their sugar. No better. I got Aldi's, another small grocery stand. They sell 4 pound bags, and they're usually about 80 cents a bag. Well, Costco is usually a dollar. I mean, not Costco. Sam's is usually, Walmart's usually a dollar a pound. And I know 1 to 1 is 8 pounds to 1 gallon, 8 pounds of sugar to 1 pound, 1 gallon of water. So when I buy those 4 pound box bags for 80 cents a pound, it varies from store to store, but it runs about 80 cents. Um, I know I just put 2 bags in, so I don't have to measure it or weigh it or anything like that. I just put 2 bags in, do that, and I put a gallon of water in, but I do it in a 5 gallon bucket. So I just throw my sugar in and then fill it up with water, and I'm good to go. I got my one close to 1 to 1 without having to measure anything. So this year, actually, probably now since I'm retired, probably here in the next few weeks, I'm going to drive up to Rural King and buy a whole pallet of sugar because they by far are the lowest price around my area. I just wish there was one closer to me. It's a good 45 minutes. It's a easy drive. There's no highway. It's all um, nice road through the country to get to it. Highway 128. It's a 2 lane road, but it cuts up through a lot of good area, nice driving area. And but it's a 45-minute drive into Ross, Ohio. That's about it. 9:45. Uh, Rural King last year was around, I think it was 55 cents a pound they were selling it for. And I think they were 10 pound, or no, they were 25 pound bags. I don't know what it's going to be this year. I haven't checked their pricing, but they're usually the lowest price. Then Aldi's is my next lowest price around my area. I don't think there are too many Aldi's around, world around us. Hey Brian, hope everything's going good with all your bees and up there in the northeast Ohio. I'm sure you're getting some rain again. You got storms coming your way when this cold front comes through. In fact, I need to check the radar. Let me do that while I'm talking. Because we were supposed to get severe storms. I need to check real quick. Let's see if they're right as I talk. Yeah, well, it looks like the line fizzled out for Brian. Just a thin line in Indiana. Yeah, and the big line that's in Kentucky is going to miss me. But it looks like the next line, yeah, it looks like it's about 4 hours out. There's a good line. The cold front's coming through. So it'll be midnight, 1 o'clock. Yeah, and there's storms in it. Yeah, and it's growing. Oh, great. Now they usually die in the middle of the night, so hopefully we don't get big storms. Yeah, yeah, 38. We're getting 45 down here for 2 nights in a row. Um, yeah, I hope Brian you don't get a frost. That's borderline 38. Hope it stays cloudy and it doesn't quite get down to 38. It doesn't. You don't get. Hopefully, it doesn't clear out. You don't get that frost. That'd be a killer, man. I'll keep an eye. I'll watch. I'll keep an eye on your weather too. Like I said, we got 45. I think Thursday we're only supposed to go up to 57 to 60 degrees, depending if we get any sun. And I hope we don't get any sun because I don't help the temperatures at nighttime. Stays cloudy. So yeah, the cold front's coming through tonight um, from my area. It looks like it, from what I can see, it's going to die. So we'll just get a little bit of rain. Getting lucky again on the timing, not coming through right during the heat of the day, 4, 5, 6 o'clock. We got pretty good storms around noon time today and 2 o'clock. They weren't quite big enough yet to be dangerous. I don't know if you heard about 60 miles south of me the other day. An F3 tornado came through and killed 17 people down in Kentucky. And there were small F1s about 10 miles in front of me, west of me in Indiana, southeast Indiana, and then east side of Cincinnati. A few couple small tornadoes came down. Didn't do much damage. Maybe a couple barns. I don't think it hit any. Maybe some roofs, but nothing major. Luckily, mostly straight line winds and trees being blown, knocked over in the houses and stuff like that. That's what I saw in the news. Uh, yeah, tornadoes are no joke. Yeah, I agree 100%, Brian. That's one thing you don't get as many. I'm still right at the eastern edge of the tornado belt of the Midwest. Cincinnati is, and this year our biggest tornadoes have been F3s. Luckily, we haven't gotten any F5s. There's ones that got over 300-mile-per-hour winds and 300 or a mile wide. Those are the worst storms. We usually get one of those per year somewhere in the Ohio Valley, but knock on wood that we haven't had any. Yeah, I watched an E5, Brian. What was that? Was that the same year, 85? Let me see. No, I was probably, I was 14 years old. So that would have been 75. Yeah, somewhere in the mid, no, 70. Yeah, it was 75. April 3rd, 1975. F5 went just about 3/4 of a mile west of my parents' house. Um, Man, probably not even that far. 3 miles west of my parents' house. My brother and I actually, through the second store window, watched it form in Kentucky, actually cross over the Ohio River, suck the river dry, the Ohio River, stop the flow, and drop fish all the way up where I live now. And then the tornado actually went through right by the lake of visitation my wife teaches. It actually went through the property I live on now. It actually flattened it. That's why nobody would build there because of what happened on the tornadoes back in 75 and went all the way up through Xenia, Ohio, which is another 45-minute drive from here. Niles, Ohio got smacked. Yeah. Yeah, 85. Those were the tornadoes that went through. Actually, Brian, you mentioned that now. That tornado started just below where I live in Cleves, right on the Ohio River. Took out about a dozen homes there. It actually went over my house. My wife and I woke up in the middle of the night and I said, I think that was a tornado that just went over our house. There was no warning, no nothing. We knew severe storms were coming, but we figured the alarm would go off or something. And the next morning, I woke up and I had a dozen shingles off the roof, but the roof was still on there. And in Blue Ash, Ohio, it touched down, and then, like you said, all the way up to the Niles, Ohio, there was big F5 tornadoes. So I got lucky. It skipped over um, the Mac area and came down in about 10 miles north east in Blue Ash, Ohio, where I work, where I did work. So you're right. I do. That was 1985. That was the Blue Ash one. Yeah, 75 was the worst one. There was 100 from Oklahoma to Columbus, I think it was, at least Cincinnati. It was 169 F3s or bigger tornadoes in 19. I think it was 1975. I want to say. And that's the one that hit the west side of Cincinnati and went through the whole subdivision all the way up to Xenia, Ohio. I mean, 30 miles, 40 miles. And that was, they estimated 330 miles per hour winds. And it was a mile and a half wide. It was a huge storm. Huge storm. At that time, it was the biggest tornado that hit the United States, but I think there's been some bigger ones now out in Oklahoma. It definitely was in one of the top biggest tornadoes ever. So we get them, especially on the west side, Cincinnati, to come up through southeast Indiana. So now we're talking about tornadoes. Yeah, boy, if one came through now, I'd lose all my beehives. I don't strap them down. I don't have anything to strap them down to since they're sitting on Allen block. They're grounded. So, and I am going to be getting off real soon here. So Brian. I only go to 10 o'clock. So my wife goes to bed, and she gets up at 5:45 every morning to go to school. She goes in an hour early. She goes in at 7, quarter to 7, 7 o'clock, an hour before the kids show up. So I don't hear her, so she might already went to bed. Yeah. So like I said, I watched that tornado go by, I was sitting on my parents' back deck. I could see couches, I could see walls, I could see roofs flying through the air, and I could see my friends dying. Luckily, all my friends I knew, none of them, some of them got hurt a little bit, none of them died, but some kids that they knew did die in that storm back in 75. It was not good. I don't remember how many people lost their lives on that one. It was way too many. I think Xenia got hit with deaths was a lot worse than the west side of Cincinnati. We all have um, foundation basements in our houses where we live, and most of them are cut out into the slate rocks. So it's pretty. You go down to the basement, it's pretty secure for tornadoes. You might have stuff fall on top of you, but you're grounded basically underground. You know, with your house being the floor roof. All right, everybody, I'm going to hop off and call it a night. I hope everybody has a really good week, and God bless everybody. And Labor Day weekend coming, I mean, Labor Day, Memorial Day weekend coming up. So everybody be safe on that weekend, especially if you're traveling. And I'll catch everybody. I'll be back on Tuesday. I don't know what my main subject's going to be. I'll come up with something and let everybody know. So yeah, another 2 hours. 2 hours is long enough for me to talk. Give it yeah, it's what 9:57, 9:58. I didn't check on my time. Yeah, I got 4 more minutes to get 2 hours. But I'm gonna call it a night. Good night, everybody. And like I said, be safe. Enjoy. Happy Memorial Day weekend. Especially for all the veterans. I don't know how many people on here are veterans. My dad was in the Air Force, but I didn't go. I went in electrical engineering at University of Cincinnati. So instead of going into the military, I did get a draft number because we still did drafts when I was 16 years old. But I was the last year that they did that. It was a good thing too because I remember I got a low number, so I definitely would have been drafted if they were still going. That was going on. Well, good night, everyone. Shutting her down.